This is the Calgary Market Update for January 2009. I'm your host, Ken Dove. In December, the average price of a single-family home in Calgary stood at $417,000. This is a 6% drop from December of last year, when the average price was $445,000. Record low sales continued in December as a result of the current economic environment, combined with the fact that December is always the slowest month of the year, with single-family sales at 449, a 47% drop from December of 2007. With sales down 47%, but new listings down by only 15% from this time last year, inventory remains high, with 3,860 single-family homes on the market. The substantial drop from 5,000 listings in November of 2008 is the result of expired listings that have not yet been renewed. We should expect a large percentage of these to come back on the market in the coming months. Calgary single-family homes have now lost almost 18% of their value since their peak in March of 2007. However, this remains a remarkably small reduction in value considering record high inventory combined with record low sales, producing the strongest buyer's market Calgary has seen in many years. Looking back over the past year, we can see that it has overall been a year of decline, dramatically accelerated at year-end by the U.S. mortgage crisis. In December, the absorption rate for single-family homes climbed to an unprecedented 8.6. Absorption rate measures in months how long it would take to sell all current inventory if no new listings were added to the market, and is the best measure of a buyer's or seller's market. Currently, the odds of selling an average-price single-family home in a 90-day period stand at 39%. It would be overly optimistic to interpret the 1% increase from last month's figure as an early sign of recovery. In December, the average price of a Calgary condo dropped to $275,000, a 10% drop from the average price of $305,000 in December of 2007. Condo sales are down 48% to just 205 sales in December, compared to 393 sales in December 1 year ago. As with single-family homes, the drop in inventory to 1,863 condos on the market as of the end of December, from 2,400 in November, is due more to the number of expired listings than it is to sales. Calgary condos have now lost 17% of their value from their peak in May of 2007, a figure virtually identical to single-family homes. The condo absorption rate has now climbed to 9.1 months. This is 0.5% higher than single-family homes. Currently, the odds of selling an average-priced condo in a 90-day period stand at 35%. No change from last month, but a 7% drop from December of last year. While the media has finally acknowledged that we are in a recession, followers of the Calgary real estate market have known this for some time, as 2008 was an extremely slow year for sales, resulting in a 9% drop in value over the year. While this has been good news for first-time buyers, fear or anticipation of further drops continue to keep those same buyers away from the market in record numbers. Early sales figures for 2009 remain very low, and it is likely that we will not see any substantial improvement in the market over the first quarter of this year. In the first week of January 2008, there were 238 sales. In the first week of this year, there were only 94 sales. If we look at the past 7 years, we can see that on average the first week of sales constitutes between 3 and 4% of total sales for the first quarter, with a high degree of reliability. Based upon this data, we should expect to see a continuation of last year's market conditions for the first quarter of this year, with sales for the first quarter remaining relatively slow. However, this predictive model must be taken with a grain of salt. The current recession in Canada is largely a result of a lack of consumer confidence. It is not based upon fundamentals as is the U.S. recession. In the U.S., almost 10% of homeowners are facing foreclosure. Here in Canada, only 1/3 of 1% of mortgages are in arrears, and as is shown by this chart of mortgage arrears data provided by the Canadian Bankers Association, this is historically quite an average figure. Through irresponsible fear-mongering, the press is making an ordinary situation, an ordinary recession, appear to be a complete disaster, such as a recent Maclean's article which reported a 50% increase in BC foreclosures, when the actual increase in the number of foreclosures in BC was from 760 to 1,080 over the course of a year. This, mind you, is out of 570,000 mortgages, for a percentage of 0.19, the lowest in the country. Here in Alberta, we could report an alarming 250% increase over the past year in the number of foreclosures. This would of course ignore the fact that Alberta mortgage arrears figures are at 0.35%, a historically low number. The trough in the Alberta line on this chart is a result of the boom market of 2 to 3 years ago, when home prices were rising sharply and any homeowner with a shortfall could simply borrow against their home to make their payments. This resulted in extremely low foreclosure figures. The sharp rise in the line over the past 18 months is simply foreclosures returning to a normal level as easy credit disappears. Unfortunately, the media has a greater influence over public opinion than those few of us doing fundamental analysis, so we should expect the Calgary real estate market to remain slow for as long as the media continues to sell advertising by giving the public bad news. When, however, the media start reporting that we are on the road to recovery, watch for a bounce-back reaction in consumer confidence levels that may result in a rapid change in the typically volatile Calgary market. In the short term, however, expect sales to climb from their current levels but to remain low in comparison to past years. Prices will likely fall farther, but not substantially, as inventory remains high and the buyer's market continues. The prime lending rate dropped to 3.5% in early January and is expected to fall farther when the Bank of Canada meets on January 20th. This will likely be reflected in a reduction in variable mortgage rates, but may not affect fixed rates, as fixed rates are not set by the prime lending rate. The Calgary Market Update Buy-Sell Index remains buried deeply at the buyer end. If you do not need to sell, don't. If you've been waiting to buy, either for yourself or as an investment, now is the time. Myself and other realtors are buying property right now. When realtors are buying, you should be too. This has been the Calgary Market Update for January 2009. I'm your host, Ken Dove. Thank you for joining me. Don't let the fearmongers put boogeymen under your bed, and I'll see you again next month.
Ken Dove has been a licensed realtor in the province of Alberta since 2003. Currently an associate with Maxwell South Star Realty, his real estate services can be viewed online at theunrealtor.ca. If you have questions about the market or this month's update, Ken welcomes your call at 403-999-7772.